The following presentation is rated WPC.
That song go. That song go to the. That song go. That song go to the lobby. Lobby. Popcorn can't be beat.
You guys made it. Welcome to the season finale of our Cinema Chat section here on Filmbuff. We have a very special guest for you today. She is the director of American Girl, which you can now see on Prime, Amazon. My good friend, director Amy Campione.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Oh, you too.
Amy, something recently just exciting happened to you. You wanna talk about that with us for a second?
I would love to. So I wrote and directed a pilot for a platform called Filmica. It was part of a competition series and we won. What I like the most about Filmica is that they've created this really cool platform where indie filmmakers and artists and writers can come together from all over the world. And they hold these competitions where there's a given format, so feature length or short episodic web series, and it all centers around a particular theme for each competition. I'm really excited to see how these people from different parts of the world come together and what their version of that theme in that particular format is. And so it's really cool that there's a platform that not only recognizes the content and the writing, but then says, hey, we believe in it and we're going to give you some money to help you create it. So because of that, they are EPing and producing and funding the rest of the series. So it'll be an online limited series, short episodes, 5 to 10 minute episodes.
That is very exciting.
Yeah, it's crime thriller. It's about this woman whose mother is murdered and she has to go back to hometown to identify the body, and it turns out not to be her mother. That happens right at the beginning. And then she's sort of thrown back into this world, and you kind of find out through flashback in the pilot episode that she was raised in a cult, in this evangelical cult in the South.
So the flashbacks play as sort of a narrative to what really is happening.
Yeah, it sort of flashes back and forth between this one particular event. You start to see that it all kind of comes together, and there's one particular reason that all this is happening again. So
that's very exciting.
Yeah, so we're shooting the rest of the episodes right now. We'll be in post, and then everything will be premiering on the platform Filmica in mid-August.
That's great.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for that.
Yes.
I wonder, as someone who directs right now in the field of directing, do you find it easier to write and direct your own, or do you find it easier to direct somebody else's adapted, or?
I think it depends, really. I do, writing is a fairly new venture for me in the last several years. I would say that it's something that I've started to direct my own work. I really do enjoy directing other writers' work, but I think, especially in the indie world, getting things off the ground, it's easier sometimes if you can do both, just because you can help continue to be that driving force.
You're definitely much more attached to the notion and where it comes from and where the direction and the emotion goes to.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. I like working with writers who I really respect and love, because sometimes I like going to them and bouncing ideas. What's the intentionality?
Gotcha.
Where are we going? But again, when you write it yourself, and you have a different view into that world, I think.
Well, the reason why I ask is because our subject matter today is somebody who writes and directs his own. And he is somebody that I believe you and I are quite fond of, and we almost have a whole friendship formed around Mr. Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino.
Mr. Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino!
The name Quentin Tarantino has moved well beyond the definition of a wonderful director.
People say, well, you talk about pop culture all the time. Well, it's a shared language that we all have, you know? And like for instance, like when you go to the movies over the weekend, when you come back into work on Monday morning, you talk about what you saw.
These two words have infiltrated pop culture and even the English language.
Guess who's back? Jesus uncrossed.
What's your name?
Django. D-J-A-N-G-O. The D is silent.
I'm gonna personally strip and clip that gaboon myself.
We ready or what?
Oh, hold on, I'm fucking with my oh shit. Just made it worse.
Who made this goddamn shit?
Willard's wife.
You make your own goddamn match.
Look, nobody's saying they don't appreciate what Jenny did.
Well, if all I had to do was cut a hole in a bag, I could have cut it better than this. What about you, Robert? Can you see?
Not too good.
Well, I can't see in this fucking thing. I can't breathe in this fucking thing, and I can't ride in this fucking thing.
Well, fuck all y'all. I'm going home. Now, I watched my wife work all day getting 30 bags together for you ungrateful sons of bitches, and all I can hear is criticize, criticize, criticize. From now on, don't ask me or mine for nothing.
Now look, let's not forget why we're here.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bullseye.
You know, you watch the Jon Stewart show, you know, on Wednesday night, and you come into the work the next day and you go, man, that Jon Stewart, man, he's rad.
Quentin, I think I'm falling for you. I don't know what's going on here.
Me? He loves all of his children. Why, he loves you.
That's it.
And he loves you.
Here he goes.
You make the Lord very nervous.
Substance. Some people say he's glamorized violence. Some people say he's a genius.
Normally the thing is when I win a writing award and you don't share the script with somebody else, you write it by yourself, kind of don't really have anybody to thank. I did it.
Why the need for so much gruesome, graphic violence? Why not let us imagine
Because it's so much fun, Chad. I'm burning now. Take it easy.
And that's why he's Quentin Tarantino.
Is a man who believes in the power of film.
Dark entertainment, baby, and that means you. Radio.
You know as well as I do, for whatever reason, you didn't invent violence in film, you didn't invent coarse language in film. People have done this. Yeah. For whatever reason, I feel like you become a lightning rod. You become divisive for some people. Do you have a theory on why you get the brunt of that?
Yeah, well, I think in particularly when it comes to the violence, I think the main reason is the fact that I am so unapologetic about it.
And if film is religion, he is its apostle.
I'm a cheerleader towards violence in cinema.
Bye, Miss Laura.
The set is church.
You know, I have no problem with saying that I like violent movies and I respond to violent movies, and I actually think violence is one of the things that the Lumiere brothers helped invent the camera.
He's a serious filmmaker. He's a unique voice for our time. tourists will sure to leave an indelible mark on cinematic history.
Acting in the film as well. You have a nice role. Did you sleep with the director?
Yeah, well, I gave him a job. 31 years. Why do you taunt me with your darkness? Your evil is stinking up our streets. The end is near. We are all gonna die.
It's cool, I say.
In a couple of weeks here, he's coming out with the anticipated Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Can't wait.
And I am stoked. I'm real stoked about it.
I think this is the one that I've been the most excited about in a while.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm Rick Dalton. And that's my stunt double, Cliff Booth.
All the shooting. I love that stuff.
What did Charlie say?
He said, kill everybody. What's the plan?
Let's get him.
There's an element of true combat. If you don't beat him, he kills you.
Not when Rick Dalton's got a shotgun.
One crazy weapon you do not want to be on the wrong side of.
Oh, shit, that's got it. All right, that's too hot. Anything we can do about that heat?
Rick, it's a flamethrower.
Yeah.
The cast is stacked. The plot is really, under wraps, but we do know it involves Charles Manson and all the other situations that were happening in the late 60s in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So, from Quentin Tarantino's perception, it could, who knows?
Anything.
Yeah.
I heard you're pushing Lancer pretty hard, but Lancer's got money. At some point, he's gonna hire some guns and push back.
Line.
Maybe he already has.
Maybe. God damn it, I fucked this whole thing up, Sam. I did. I fucked this whole thing up. Can we just go back, please? Can we just cut?
No, really, just.
No, really, Sam, please. God damn
Maybe
it.
he already
All right,
has.
all right.
Maybe he already
God damn it. All right. Woo! Goddamn outlaw, Rick. Come on now. Whew. I got it. Go back a bit, would you?
No, he's right. Back to one. Can I use all that?
I'm gonna use it. Oh, I'm gonna use it.
Put it all inside.
I'm gonna use it.
And
I heard you're pushing Lancer pretty hard, but Lancer's got money. At some point, he's gonna hire some guns and push back.
Maybe he already has.
Maybe. Maybe I don't like Lancer. Maybe I don't like his boots. Maybe I don't like the way he uses those boots to step on people.
To do a real quick list, because the list game is part of this segment, let's do a top 5 favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. We'll rush right through them. We'll do a top 5 and then your most memorable moments from that movie, all right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll have you start with 5.
5, I'm going to do Kill Bill Volume 2.
Before this tale of bloody revenge reaches its climax, there's a few unanswered questions. She's coming to kill you.
You see Cutter wade through 88 bodyguards.
No, there wasn't really 88 of them. They just called themselves the Crazy 88.
How come?
I don't know. I guess they thought it sounded cool.
Hi, Mommy.
Yeah. This was my, and then my moment, I think this is like a very best directed moment. It was a very anticipated moment through both films. Bill's death at the end of the film, I think it's just
Really?
I think it's one of his best directed scenes. I'm always blown away how in these moments of just, you know, pulp or camp or, you know, or high genre type moments, he tends to just direct these beautiful performances out of people, and I think it's brilliant.
Baby, you ain't kidding. I overreacted.
You overreacted?
Okay, my 5 for me is Natural Born Killers, because we are including the the screenwriting of Quentin Tarantino as well. But this is the only one where I'm going to say that I liked this imperfect balance with him and Oliver Stone. Now, it's very controversial, but they have this weird, like, imbalance that makes the movie chaotic, and it changes the script, but not for the worst.
I would have to agree. I actually like, well, we'll go down my list. You'll see another one of those on my list. Okay.
All right, number 4.
Number 4. So I'm going to go with Jackie Brown. Big, huge Jackie Brown fan. And favorite moment from that movie, he does, you know, Tarantino again always blows me away where he can have 2 people sitting somewhere just having a conversation, and it's exciting. And so I think
the opening of Inglourious.
Yes.
20-minute opening.
I think You Shot Melanie, we were just talking about.
Yeah.
You Shot Melanie, you know, between Samuel L. Jackson and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Where's Melanie? Well, that's what I want to tell you. You see, she was bugging me the whole time. She got pissy with me because I wouldn't let her carry the bag, and then she started running her fucking mouth about, you know, because I couldn't remember where the car was parked right away when we came out. So then she got on me about that. Is it this aisle, Lewis? Is it that aisle, Lewis? It's totally fucking with my nerves, man.
So what, you left her there?
I shot her.
You shot Melanie?
Twice. In the parking lot.
You couldn't talk to her?
Well, how can you talk to her? You know,
you couldn't just hit her?
Maybe, but at that moment, I don't know.
You shot her twice? Is she dead?
I pretty much.
Just one of it's hilarious, but also, you know, it just I love that whole entire scene.
Number 4 for me is Pulp Fiction. However, I think that Sally Menke, the editing really stands out of Pulp Fiction.
You'll be a woman soon. I love you so much, can't count all the ways I died for you, girl, and all they can say is he's not your kind. They never get tired of putting me down, and I never know when I come around what I'm gonna find. Don't let them make up your mind. Don't you look good?
I think editors play a big role with directors in giving them support, making them feel like they can look at something that may have trouble or problems and be comfortable enough so that they can approach those problems.
Just like, you know, letting me live with it long enough so I could eventually, okay, I've had it enough, I've seen that enough, okay, maybe now I can lose this part, okay, so...
In the beginning, he really doesn't guide me, and then I put together what I think he wants, and pretty much we've worked together so long I can judge what he would want.
Every time I watch it, of course, there's always somebody new that stands out. It's just full of great performances with great actors and great music, great soundtrack, great screenplay, but it's the editing that really kind of gets lost in that, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how she keeps this all on track and cool and smooth.
Yeah.
What's number 3 for you?
Number 3 for me is Death Proof. I think it's one of his underrated films. I think everyone, like they just don't think of that as being one of his best films, and I just absolutely love it for its simplicity and for what it is, for the genre that it is. And Zoe Bell in particular, and her stunt on the car. Me too.
Oh,
I worked with her. She's amazing.
I love Zoe Bell. She's adorable.
One of the sweetest, kindest, just most humble.
When I met her, she was a little drunk.
Oh.
Yeah, I won't go into that. She was real sweet. She was real sweet. It was just a really funny, cute story.
I worked on a short film with her, and it was very stunt driven. It was, this sort of vigilante thing, and she was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, but her stunt in that movie is so impressive. She does the stunt, you know, she on the car for probably, I mean, it's like an 8-minute scene. It's a long scene. She's hanging off the front of this car and acting, and you know, I think she's great. So.
Number 3 for me is Django Unchained. I think is a great movie, but specifically Samuel Jackson, I think, is very underrated in this movie.
Hello, my ass. Who this nigga up on that name?
Oh, Stephen, you have nails for breakfast. What's the matter? Why you so ornery? You miss me, huh?
Oh, yes, sir. I miss you like a hog miss flop, like a baby miss mammy titty. I miss you like I misses a rock in my shoe.
He is probably the best I've ever seen him in this movie. And I remember when they cast him, he made this joke about
me to be the most hated Negro in cinematic history.
And he sold it though. It's him that does it, and it's his silent stares across the yard. It's all these moments that you can feel this hate from this character, and why, without him saying too much.
Yeah.
And that will be the story of you, Django.
What's number 2 for you?
Number 2 for me is definitely Pulp Fiction. And in particular, the opening sequence of Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite from all of his films. You know,
forget it. It's too risky. No food doing that shit.
you know, he's known for these opening sequences. They mean something. They have, you know, there's big intention there, and I think you don't always see that with filmmakers. You know, it usually it sets a tone or it kind of throws you into the world, but he really sets things up in his opening sequences.
Everybody be cool, this is a robbery! If you fucking pricks move, then I'll execute every last motherfucking one of you!
Just that particular sequence, it is pulp. It is the true definition of what pulp is.
Yeah.
I mean, it sets up the whole thing. Really. Amanda Plummer is just brilliant.
Yes.
Tim Roth. I mean, and it's just unexpected. And he does the thing that you don't expect. You should expect it, but you don't expect it. So I love that.
Yeah. Where are we at? My number 2?
Your number 2.
Okay, my number 2, Kill Bill Volume 1. And I had to write it down because I don't want to butcher the name, but I just love Chiaki Kiriyama.
Kiriyama.
Oh, go.
Yes.
Oh, she's great. She's so fun. I love that character, and she's actually really good in Battle Royale. Like I'm familiar with her work. She's a very, very underrated actress. But let's go to our number 1.
Number 1. Anybody who knows me knows that my number 1 is True Romance.
Hello, baby.
Favorite again.
Yes.
So again, his written, not directed.
Yes.
And it always hurts my heart how much he talks about how he likes his written directed films much better. He always has problems with things that he doesn't. But I think it's such a beautiful marrying of like such a great writer, and if you have such a great director like with
Tony Scott.
Yeah. And there's just so many great performances, so many great actors in their prime, like very young, in these young, they're just great. And
Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken.
Slow it down, man.
In a Tony Scott film.
I think what you did was so romantic.
Not since Bonnie and Clyde have 2 people been so good at being bad. True Romance.
some of my favorite moments are Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper.
Who are you? The Antichrist. You got me in a vendetta kind of mood.
You tell the angels in heaven you never seen evil so singularly personified as you did in the face of the man who killed you.
Yes.
You know, that death showdown.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. There's so many moments.
I haven't killed anybody since 1984.
Yeah, and I hate to do it. I hate to say that this is probably why we're really good friends. True Romance would be #1 for me.
I like you, Clarence. Always have. Always will.
True Romance is, if anybody says, are you a Quentin Tarantino fan? And I say, yes, have you seen True Romance? And they say, no, then you really, like, True Romance really is the greatest example of his dialogue and his words and how he carries his scenes and things like that. It's a very Tony Scott look, but every time I talk about True Romance, it's always something different. It's either the Brad Pitt scene or the...
Do you know a Clarence Wally?
Yes.
Do you know where we can find him?
Yes, I do. Oh.
Oh, where?
At the Beverly Ambassador.
Where's that?
Well, you go. No. Yeah, go down beach. You guys want to smoke a bowl or? Oh. Go down Beechwood and drive a while, and then.
The Gary Oldman scene, but I'm gonna go with Sal Rubinek. I think he's great.
Just call me Lee.
Lee.
Laura, shut the fuck up. Come on, everybody, don't be shy. Come on in, come in.
Okay, Lee? Lee.
That's right, Lee.
I just gotta tell you, I really am a big fan. Coming Home in a Body Bag is my favorite movie of all time. I mean, after Apocalypse Now, I think that is the best Vietnam movie ever made.
Wow, thank you very much. You like my dailies there, Claire?
Is that what these are, dailies?
You like them?
Yeah, they're great.
Better fucking be great. They cost me enough. What'd that day cost me?
$357,000.
Elliot, I swear to God, somebody is stealing from me.
What's this one called, anyway?
It's a sequel, Body Bag.
Really?
So we don't have a title yet, but what does Joe like?
Body Bags 2.
Ooh, that's imaginative. Got more taste in my penis.
This guy's really fucking funny.
He's great as the producer.
Yes.
He's amazing.
So good.
I'm gonna wrap it up with a little bit of trivia. Do you know that character, Sal Rubinek, is related to Eli Roth's character in *Inglourious Basterds*?
Oh, I've heard of this connection before.
Yeah, I love his his little connections. But thank you so much for being here on Cinema Chat. You can now see American Girl on Prime Video and Amy Campione. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
Popcorn.